Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I welcome all three of you here. Thank you. And I've enjoyed working with General Richardson in recent years, so I appreciate seeing you. And General Guillot and I were fellow commanders of the Fighting 55th Wing, the largest wing in Air Combat Command, third largest in the Air Force. I think for 2 decades, the most busy ops tempo that the Air Force had. So congrats on your new position. My first question is for General Guillot. How does hypersonic weapons affect your warning times? Because I think it's important for the Americans to hear, with China having nuclear-armed hypersonics, Russian building them, what does it do for our warning times?
Thank you, Congressman. Good to see you, and thanks for recognizing the Fighting 55th's contributions worldwide. Hypersonics are probably the most destabilizing weapon that we face now, and one of the prime reasons is what you mentioned, the shortened detection time, and the fact that they don't follow a traditional ballistic track means they're very unpredictable, and the area of uncertainty is huge based on their speed and their maneuverability. That's what makes them such a challenge to not only detect, but to track and eventually defeat.
Is it fair to say we have about a 15-minute warning time? I don't know if I'm just trying to give our citizens a sense how this changes. Intercontinental ballistic missiles gave us about a 35-minute warning time, and I'm just trying to, how much is this warning time reduced?
Yes, Congressman, there are cases where it would be about half, but I would add to that, though, is the unpredictable nature of their maneuvering. Even with a ICBM, if it was 30 minutes, very quickly we could figure out just about where exactly that's going into a very small circle of error probability. However, with the hypersonic, not only is it faster, giving us less time to detect, it can fly lower, which gives our sensors problems, and then that maneuverability means a typical threat warning could be something as vague as Western United States as opposed to a particular city.
And Mr. Chairman, this is why I think it's so important that we address this with STRATCOM and the Pentagon and our national command authorities. I don't think we're positioned right with our nuclear command survivability and ensuring that we always have a survivable element, not at a base. I think we're making ourselves vulnerable. And it's one of the things I'm trying to push our DoD. I know this is not in Northcom's purview, but I think we in the HASC here, working with senior military leaders, are going to have to come up with a plan that ensures we always have a survivable command element, that we can't be caught flat-footed. Because I worry about our current posture, and I think it leaves us vulnerable. And I want the Russians, Chinese to know, no matter what they do, we can always respond. So I appreciate your aspect of this is very important to this discussion, so thank you. General Richardson, I was talking to the previous ambassador from Jamaica, and he was telling me that the Jamaicans would like to have our Coast Guard assigned there, and they would help with facilities, and it's in the perfect position for interdicting drugs coming out of Venezuela and Colombia. Can you comment on that at all, or have you heard any of this dialogue?
I have not heard that dialogue, but we have a very good, close working relationship with Jamaica and the Chief of Defense there, who is a Coast Guard officer.
Well, I'm hearing, this is indirect, not direct from him, but via the ambassador, that this is an opportunity, and this is from the Jamaicans' perspective, that they'd like to work with us, and that location would be important, for the drug routes coming out of Colombia and Venezuela. So I hope you take a look at it. I would be grateful for that. Going back to General Guillot, how's our surveillance radars? Do they need investment, the current?
Congressman, they do. We do have some programs in place, most notably the over-the-horizon radar system. That would give us capability against cruise missiles, traditional air tracks, as well as the hypersonics that you and I just discussed. Keeping that program on track is the #1 priority from Northcom because of that great capability that it would bring.
How would you prioritize the ABM elements that we have in Alaska? Do they need upgrading as well?
Yes, all of the systems that we have that give us the domain awareness that we need are at the top priorities of mine. There would be one of these over-the-horizon systems there, the LRDR, the long-range discriminating radar, is key for us to defeat missiles from North Korea.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all three of you. I yield back.